What's up everybody? So today's video we're going to talk about plastidip and how it holds up under the elements being sun, rain, washing, bugs, track events, all kinds of junk that would, affect the wrap or the job or the coating of plastidip. So as you can see behind me, we've got the yellow bruised banana that's done, full plastidip job that we did on this channel. It's only been a few months and it's not even a daily driver and it is already pretty much spent. So the California sun, the elements, it's pretty much taking its toll. So I want to show you guys or try to capture that detail in this video with as much definition as possible. So let's get this camera over there and show you guys what we're talking about. So we're gonna cruise right past the Viper. That's paint, that's still looking great, even 20 years later. But the plastidip job that we did on this car is taking its toll. So albeit it is a light color, we did this job, and I'll link above to the video that we actually did this entire job in this garage with a bunch of cans. It took almost 50 cans. We had to do a white base coat and then this yellow fluorescent, blaze yellow is what they call it. So we did that job. It looked great. We got a ton of reactions, ton of positive feedback on this. It's a really obnoxious color. It catches a lot of attention, but this car does not get parked outside. It's always parked inside. It's only taken outside for the day and then put back in the garage. So it really hasn't seen a whole lot of sunlight, but it faded bad. I don't know if you guys can see this, but you can probably see the patchiness of it all. And it is not holding up well to the elements whatsoever. There's darker spots, there's lighter spots. I mean, from 10 feet away, I guess it looks okay, but really the thinner spots are starting to show. And this thing had a nice sheen to it all in the beginning. It was an even looking coat. Everything was yellow and bright, but you can really see it dulling down in certain spots, especially on leading edges where the sun is beating down at the most. So that's one aspect of it. Hopefully you guys can see the patchiness to it. I'm trying to capture it as best as I can from as many different angles, but really it's very patchy looking. Again, unless you're like really inspecting it, you probably won't notice it much. Like you can probably see how white that is right there. And as we move around, maybe from this angle there, you can probably see very white here, white along the leading edges, maybe where it's not as thick, and definitely on the hood, you can see white here, a little bit more yellow there, and just patchiness all around. So not that we expected this to be a permanent job, it was really an experiment, a temporary job to be done, but that was one aspect of it. The second aspect is you have to be very careful with gasoline or any petroleum products. So when you're filling it up with gas, if you spill anything, it's going to melt the plastic. So I already knew that, so we didn't have any issues there. But the problem now is when we went to the track events, there's rubber and stuff that flies off of other vehicles. And when it left like little skid marks, like this normally wouldn't be an issue for most paint jobs, but this is like a skid or a track or trail of rubber. You're probably saying, well, what does it matter? There's only one tiny little mark here. Well, all down the side of the car is all rubber carnage. So from chunks of rubber flying off the tire, this is all marks of rubber. And I tried cleaning a bunch of it off, but the remnants are still here. Like I can't get a lot of this stuff off. Because it's rubber, you would want to use something petroleum to try to take it off, maybe WD-40 or Goo Gone, but Goo Gone deteriorates the plastidip. So this right here was a big streak of rubber, and I actually just put some Goo Gone on a paper towel and just wiped it just to get it off, but it kind of, you can see that it took a little bit of the plastic with it. Got rid of a lot of the black, but you really can't do that on a regular basis. Same thing on this side. All this black smear stuff is just tire, like hot tire, like rubber flying off, which you probably could clean it off. Well, I know you could clean it off with paint normally, but with it being plastidip, really not an option. So that is all that. The other thing is bugs. So again, and even there's rubber marks up here, surprisingly. I don't know how rubber chunks fly up off of other cars like that, but apparently they do. The bugs were one thing that I wasn't sure how to get off initially, but what I found is if you use really hot water and you use dish soap, the bugs will come off. Because again, a lot of people want to use like bug and tar remover. If you use something like that, the plastidip will lift. So conclusion of all this is if you're going to plastidip your car, especially if you're going to do it this color,
do not expect it to last. And it's a little bit disappointing because you guys know that this is gonna be a pain to remove, but it's something that's expected, but you would at least want it to last a little bit longer than what it did. So that's my conclusion. If you're gonna plastidip it, be prepared to only be a very, very temporary thing. It would be much better off wrapping it, but there actually isn't this wrap color. So that's the other problem we're gonna face is we're either gonna try to have to mix this color paint if we wanna do it the same color, but probably in this fall, we're gonna be wrapping this car, vinyl wrapping it, something crazy, something different. And the plastidip was just a temporary job. So that pretty much wraps up my conclusions. If you guys have any questions about this, or you want me to go into further detail, I really think I covered most of the stuff. I just want to show you guys how patchy this looks after honestly, it's only been 2-3 months max and hasn't held up whatsoever.
All right, so I hope you guys found that video informative and answers some of your questions on whether you should plastidip your car and how it holds up and for how long. So one other thing I did want to mention is fingerprints. If you have any grease or dirt on your hands and you touch the car, or any mechanic touches the car when they're working on it, getting that grease off or out of the plastidip, especially when it's a light color like that, is very hard in my opinion. There might be some sort of fancy product that you can buy, but just trying to use something that's not petroleum based, like if you try cleaning out Windex or soap and water, that stuff is not coming out. Again, you could probably use a little bit of bug and tar remover or Goo Gone, don't quote me on that, but that stuff at the same time is going to eat away a little bit at the plastidip. So that's kind of my findings. I have, like I was mentioning earlier, used the Goo Gone and sprayed a little bit on a wet towel and just wiped it quickly, enough just to get some of that stuff off there that I couldn't clean off otherwise. Like I said, there might be special products, but just beware that you're gonna be dealing with these sort of things. So I hope that answers some of the questions. It's only lasted a few months in the summer, so it's definitely not a practical thing. We did it as an experiment, and I'm giving you guys the honest truth on it and how long plastidip lasts. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like it, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that thumbs up for me, and check out the other videos on the channel. Like I said, we did show the entire job on that plastidip on the channel. I'll link it above, and we'll see you on the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.